Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning. As you can probably tell, our chosen Southeast Asian country is Japan. We often associate Japanese people with the things that are famous in their country and culture, like sumo wrestling, sushi, anime, and cherry blossoms. Aside from these aspects, let us know their identity, which makes them different and unique. They are known to be punctual. They have the utmost respect for being punctual, especially in their respective works, may it be at the office or any other works that require attendance. It is because arriving late leaves a bad impression on their colleagues and managers, and that is also why they have very efficient railways and train systems. Second, they are also known for being diligent about their work that a lot of them hardly end up taking any days off. And because of this, they do not get to utilize their yearly paid vacation. Third, they are polite in whatever situation they find themselves in. It is because they value tatemai, which refers to their outward selves, the one they use to present themselves to society. When we approach them randomly, they may seem to be shy or excited. What matters is that we read the air to know what they are feeling. They also value hone, which is their true feelings. In Japan, it is important to fit in and be in harmony with those people around them, such as their friends, rather than to be unique. And lastly, they are known to be hardworking. They go to any extent to honor any task they undertake, especially if it is related to work. If you guys remember in our discussion, sleeping or taking a nap at work is disrespectful for other countries. But in Japan, taking a nap in the office, during meetings, and even on the streets is a sign that they are working hard.
Customs of Japan. Number one is bowing. In Japan, people greet each other by bowing to one another. It is not only used to greet but also to thank, apologize, make a request, or ask someone a favor. There are two types of bows, deeper bow and small nod. Deeper bow means indicates sincere respect. Small nod, it is more casual and informal. Number two, gift giving. The gifts are normally food or alcohol related that given to family members and close friends. This is in keeping with the Japanese custom of giri, a kind of obligation or duty. It is also essential to wrap the gift properly, otherwise you can wrap it using the bag or the paper bag where you purchase the item. There are two gift-giving occasions. The first one is Ochugen, occurs during summer in the middle of the year and gifts are given as a sign of gratitude to others. Oseibo occurs in December and it's seen as a sign of indebtedness. Table manners, Japan is saying customary phrases before and after meal. Itadakimasu, meaning I humbly receive or let us eat. Gochisusama, this means after meal. They also include the using of chopsticks, small bowl, and slurping of soup. Fourth, shoes. Shoes are never worn in someone's home or on Japanese tatami flooring or mats. Take off your shoes in a house, restaurant, hotel, hot spring resort, etc. Fifth, miscellaneous tips. Japanese do not have loud public conversations on their mobile phones. Japan is not an English-speaking country. Speak slowly and be patient when speaking English. Lastly, names. The word son is a title of respect added to a name and it can be used with both male and female names as well as with either surnames or given names. The word kun is used to address men who are younger or the same age as the speaker. Usually use this in schools or company. And the word chan, it is often attached to children's names when calling them by their given name, and it can be also used regarding to kinship terms in a childish language. Traditions of Japan. Bon Dance Festival or Obon is a special time of the year for the people. Bon festivals with bon dances held during this period. It has lively festivals that are held in the temples within a community with music and dancing. Women wear summer kimonos, and they also believe that the spirits of the ancestors come back to visit their living family. Summer festivals or fireworks are another fun and exciting Japanese tradition. Japanese fireworks are some of the most elaborate and colorful in the world. Fireworks are held every weekend from the end of July to the end of August, and thousands of people gather at these festivals. Cherry blossom viewing or ohanami. Spring is all about seeing the cherry blossoms in Japan. They bloom from around the last days of March to the first week of April. A lot of people are going on this season because they are having picnics under the flowering trees. Lastly, tea ceremony is the most popular traditional experiences of Japanese culture. Tea is made out of roasted green tea leaves as you can imagine from the name. This tea is a reddish brownish color. It is milder and sweeter than regular green tea, so younger children may favor of it. Since it is roasted, it has a fragrant toasted kind of taste.
As for the arts, Japan has a lot of arts. They are rich in arts. They have paintings, calligraphies, architecture, pottery, sculptures, bronzes, jade carvings, and other fine or decorative visual arts that were produced over the centuries. And these are still up to date. The most common art that we can see in Japan is paintings. From silkscreen, woodblock prints, and modern canvas, they get to utilize these things to express their creativity. Nature, and specifically mountains, have been a favorite subject of Japanese art since its earliest days. It is rooted from Shinto, their belief system for deities, who are believed to reside in nature such as trees, rivers, rocks, and mountains. Nature is not only a subject of art, but rather a portrait of the sacred world and the deities who live within it. And as you can see on your screen, the painting we are all familiar with, The Great Wave off Kanagawa by Katsushika Hokusai.
影分身の術こんにちは。名前はもうVon desu ka? And today, I'll be discussing the communication practices in Japan.
The Japanese people are known for being indirect communicators. They may be imprecise while answering inquiries in order to maintain unity or avoid embarrassment, or being nice. Nonverbal clues such as language, posture, expression, and tone of the voice are frequently used to deduce a meaning from a dialogue. Disagreements that need to be addressed are normally handled privately at a later date.
Japanese people avoid direct refusals or negative reactions since they are indirect communicators. When they refuse, they may pause before responding with ambiguous response. Even if the speaker does not intend to evaluate the proposal, someone may answer a request with kentoshimasu, which means I will consider it.
In Japanese communication, interjection or aizuchi are highly common. They aren't meant to be taken as an interruption, but rather as a signal to the speaker that their counterpart is paying attention. Aizuchi are especially significant in instances where nonverbal signs are not visible, such as when talking on the phone. Depending on the context of the conversation, there are various forms of interjection, and sugoi,
すごい美味しいね
used in a casual circumstances to express wow or wonderful, are examples of agreement interjection. The sound of is another typical interjection that expresses astonishment, as well as honto desu ka? Are you serious?
In Japanese culture, modesty is a common value. As a result, people have a natural tendency to gently decline praise. Excessive flattery is humiliating. The Japanese language has a thorough grammatical system used to express different levels of politeness, respect, and formality. This is known as keigo, or respectful speech, or honorific speech. There are three general categories of respectful speech, each used in different situations and employ different word choices and ways of communicating. Sankeigo refers to respectful language and it is used to demonstrate respect towards the other person. This type of speech is often used when speaking to superiors. Kensongo refers to humble language used to depreciate oneself or other people in the same group. In this kind of speech, people tend to drop honorific titles to show humility. Teinego refers to polite language, which is more general and can be used to refer to other people or oneself. This kind of language does not convey any particular kind of respect or humility to oneself or others. Polite language is also often used among acquaintances.
There are many factors to consider also in a nonverbal communication. Now let us begin. With physical contact, it is preferable to have a little interaction as possible, unless it is unavoidable, such as in a crowded public area where people tend to avoid touching others.
Then, there's personal space. The divide between public and private areas is commonly used to shape attitudes towards space. In crowded public settings such as packed mall or public transportation, for example, bodies are forced together without notice. In the meanwhile, in private settings, physical touch is often avoided. People will keep their distance from one another as much as possible.
Eye contact. In Japan, eye contact is a crucial part of nonverbal communication because direct eye contact can be intimidating. Indirect eye contact is the norm.
Bowing. Bowing is a typical gesture in Japan and it is frequently used to express emotions such as gratitude, remorse, or reverence. Bowing etiquette is complicated with various regulations that vary depending on the context, social standing, and the age of the person.
Beckoning. People in Japan typically beckon by replacing their palms on the ground and swing their fingers towards their body. It is, however, inappropriate to beckon to someone socially superior. Pointing is considered to be impolite. Japanese people extend their hand and make a gentle gesture towards the person, place, or object. Nodding. Nodding is a frequent way for people to show that they are listening or recognize something during a conversation. Nodding is a politeness gesture that may not always signify agreement. Expressing emotions. In Japanese conversation, expressing strong emotions is frequently avoided. This is particularly true in formal settings like the office or school. To summarize, Japanese people place a heavy focus on nonverbal communication and place a high value on social harmony.
Hi, I'm Erica Justine Z. Araneta and I have a question for you. Have you ever been in Japan? If yes, then you might have experienced hearing an English word there, but you just can't get it. It is because there are several English words that have a completely different meaning in Japan. And because of that, I'll share 5 of them with you today. The first word is revenge, which means to intentionally hurt someone in return of being hurt by them. But in Japanese, it is actually a positive word, which means trying against something for a second time to succeed. For example, is being placed second on your first marathon and you seek revenge by improving yourself and getting first place on the next marathon. The second word is tension. Tension in English is normally something you would want to avoid, like stress or emotional strain. In Japan, however, tension refers to the state of feeling excited or high in energy. People often use phrases such as high in tension or good tension to comment on someone's noticeably unhappy disposition. The third word is mansion. Mansion in English is what most people admire because of its spaciousness and evident beauty. And you know what? In Tokyo, most people live in mansions. But that's only because mansion in Japan refers to what the rest of the world might recognize as an apartment building that looks like this. The fourth word is consent. Consent for most of us means a permission for something to happen or an agreement. But in Japan, consent means an electric socket. Last but not least is the word smart. To an English speaker, being called smart is a compliment to your intelligence. However, in Japan, being smart has nothing to do with brains. In this country, a smart person is someone who is slim with a nice body. This is why a Japanese person may be calling you smart while glancing at your body instead of your head. I hope that you remember these words the next time you go to Japan. That's all for now. Arigato gozaimasu!